by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, and alongside of me is my co-host, the one, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
How you doing, Matt?
Doing good. I mean, Nashville Super Speedway. I mean, we're getting very close now to the playoffs. I mean, week 2 of Amazon Prime, which I am so excited for all the old people to complain about because they've been absolutely fantastic complaining about Prime.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be talking about that in a little bit, but yeah, great race weekend, or pretty interesting race weekend down in Nashville. A concrete oval. Love the market, kind of hate the track, if that makes sense. I think it's going to be today's topic of conversation as we go in through our Nashville race discussion. Blown engine line wide open for all of our fans. Feel free to comment on our chat if there's something that you want to bring up. Let Jake and I be the voice of reasoning, especially if you're an old person that hates Amazon Prime. I can't wait to hear from you. Just complain. I'm asking you to complain, man.
What's there to complain about, though?
Should I start from some of the Facebook pages?
Oh, I've seen it out there. It's
how dare NASCAR throw its fan base out? This is the fan base that, our generation grew the sport. Well, you also killed it, by the way. But there's a lot. But again, if you're listening to us live and you want to vent about Amazon Prime, by all means, come on in, chime on in, tell us how much you hate it, because I can't wait to talk to you about it. Jake, I think the coverage has been really good, by the way.
It's been amazing.
It's been amazing, to say the least. But tonight, we're going to be discussing Nashville Super Speedway. We got a lot of hot topics coming out of the race weekend this week. And then after Nashville, we're going to be kind of rolling into Michigan. Really interesting. I don't know if a lot of our fans know this, but the in-season tournament, the bracket for this, the standings start this week in Michigan. Michigan, Mexico City, and Pocono are going to determine the standings of where the in-season bracket is going to be. So kind of a important race up in the Midwest. Actually, one of my favorite tracks to go to. If you ever get a chance, it might be a show on the road eventually.
I'm down. I'll go wherever.
It's a fun track. I mean, I know we have a couple fans from Michigan. I mean, it is a really, I was impressed. I was never a fan of it on TV. Went up there and I was like, first of all, you're driving. We drove through Ohio, got through Toledo. We get up, I want to say probably like an hour. And then all of a sudden we made a left off the highway. And then all of a sudden we were in absolute middle of nowhere. Nowhere, Michigan. And I'm like, damn, if I roll a bowling ball, this thing's going from one side of the state to the other side. Anyways, we got to the track. It was really cool. It was a great time. So Michigan, they party up there. I'll tell you that for free. So, anyways, Michigan will close out tonight's segment. But Jake, a couple show announcements before we start tonight. First and foremost, if you love listening to us two talking about NASCAR and cars going around in a circle or whatever our fans want to discuss it as, it's a great sport. But continue following us on YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Any support, any share, anything in support for us that makes us feel a lot better. It makes us feel like we're actually doing something good for the world, right? I think they need us. I'm just saying.
I agree.
So, other show announcements tonight. Pocono. We are. Was it now 2 weeks away? Yeah, 2 Wednesdays. 2 Wednesdays from now, we'll be doing our show before the race. 2 weeks away. Seats, obviously, with the podcast, we actually got our tickets. We're all done, but our tailgate will be live. Come on by. We'll be doing a live episode, getting you ready for the Triangle. Implications now because of the in-season tournament rankings. That's going to be a lot of fun going into Pocono. Come by our tailgate, enjoy yourself. Listen to our show live. Be part of it as well. Final one, Dover, Monster Mile, July 20th. We will be down there. Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to being back down to Dover, by the way. I've been saying it all season long. You got it out of Delaware's rainiest time of the year, and it's about damn time. Jake, I know you and I enjoy going to that track.
I haven't been down there since you and me went down the last time.
It's gonna be hot as hell.
I know it's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hot.
Well, I'm excited to get back down there.
Yeah, pretty excited. So we got 2 good, fun shows on the road, in my personal opinion. The Pocono one's always my favorite. Pocono one is always my favorite. But cool. So that's gonna close us out with some show announcements. And again, as you're listening to us live on air, Blown Engine chat line wide open. If you're listening to us on Facebook or YouTube, feel free just to comment. Just comment. It'll pop up on our chat. We'll read it on air. And hopefully, as I said before, let Jake and I be the voice of reasoning, especially for you other people that hate Amazon Prime. We'll talk this through. Just saying. I still can't believe they hate it, man. I can't.
It blows my mind. I mean, they're just so hooked on Fox.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't get anything out of the comment. I can watch the race on Fox on mute.
Thank you. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I get that Harvick has a podcast, and maybe that's what it feels like. It's more closure, but I guess as like podcasters, like you and myself, like that doesn't really impress me.
No.
Listen, I like Kevin Harvick. I will say this for free. I like Kevin Harvick a lot. I think that I think he's a great dude. I think he's done a lot for the sport. He had to fill in massive shoes. Let's call it as is.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, like difference between you and myself and Kevin Harvick podcasting, Harvick has all this like free data. Like NASCAR basically goes, here's all the sim data. If you really want to talk straight analytics, we could put auto racing analytics right out of business. We could put those guys out of business, like whatever you want. Here's all the free data for us, like for the up and comers like ourselves. And that's why I'm saying, like Harvick, it's great. He's good in the booth. It's not impressive that he has his own show. Of course he does. He's got all the money.
Of course, yeah. I'd rather watch Dale's and Denny's.
Yeah, Denny,
before I watch his. Which Denny this week was hilarious.
I think Action's Detrimental is one of the best podcasts for the sport in the entire world. He says some stuff that even he can get fined on.
Yes.
But it's that whole Dirty Mo Media, right? Like Dale, that's all Dale Jr.'s broadcast. And we'll be talking about more of Dale Jr. later in this show because I got a chance to watch the Earnhardt documentary and we'll talk to our fans about it. But Dirty Mo Media, clearly to me, is if you want to follow like top line NASCAR production or NASCAR information, Dirty Mo Media. That's Dale Jr.'s broadcast team. Like that's his group. Dude, it is absolutely insane how much information he puts out there for any type of fan.
Oh yeah.
Actually, a fun joke this week. I had a fan, well, we talked about it last week, and I had another fan tell me that Dale Jr. has done more to destroy NASCAR than help NASCAR. Because they're so mad about Amazon Prime. I don't know.
I was going to keep my comments to myself on that one. That's idiotic.
Listen, you and I do have the show. The floor is yours if you want to talk. You can talk.
I mean, they got look at them on post-race interviews. Like, we'll get into it, but look how when Ryan Blaney came up, he was asked him like congratulate him on the win, but it was actually questioning him about stuff. And people, I read stuff on there like, why is Dale Earnhardt Jr. so hard on guys and drivers and stuff like that? I don't know if you obviously watched. Like he was picking Blaney's head about stuff like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Like, what do you think about this? And some of the answers, Blaney was kind of just smiling and like didn't want to be arrogant about it because I mean you're talking to Dale Jr., but I think having him on there is huge. Like you want to have the guys who've been there, done that, have done it for years. And I get it. You have Kevin Harvick, you have Clint Bowyer up there, but like I don't want to listen to two guys bullshit for fucking 4 hours. I just don't want to do it. No. These guys talk about racing.
Well, and that's what it comes back down to, right? Like I said this last week on this show. Now, when Amazon Prime first debuted, I said, NASCAR fans, we are not a stupid fan base. So please, by any stretch, anyone listening to our show that loves NASCAR, don't listen to the outside noise. Don't, because we are one of the most intelligent, and it doesn't matter what generation you're from. It doesn't. To be honest with you, I love every generation of NASCAR fans, whether you're old, whether you're young. It's a great sport for everybody. Preferably, I love listening to the older generation more so than probably myself. And the reason why is a lot of these guys were old mechanics. I want to hear the stories about, basically jumping, getting the car fixed up and going down to the track. And that's why I feel like going back to NASCAR on Fox and not trying to rip them on the first 10 minutes of the show, but NASCAR, what Amazon Prime has done for NASCAR, in my opinion, has been remarkable. It makes us feel more intelligent. You have a little something for everybody, right? Dale Jr. is a little bit more of that old school, like, hey, I've been around the sport for a long time, but also a little bit of the mechanical background. Like, he'll talk about how the car, right? Where for me, Steve Letarte, I'm an analytics guru. I'm an analytics nerd. I like the data. I like the information. And Letarte complements that. But then Adam Alexander doesn't just ramble. Adam Alexander brings like his own story to the picture as well. So that's where, like, I feel like with Amazon Prime, it's like, no, if this is what Dale Jr. decided to go, and this is what Dale Jr. decided to do to make NASCAR broadcasting a lot better, well, guess what? He nailed it out of the park. Whether you think he destroyed the sport or not, Dirty Mo Media is here to stay. And to be honest with you, I hope they continue doing what they do and not get discouraged by stupid early ratings. We'll talk about that in a second. Don't get discouraged, because continue doing what you're doing, because you're going to get smart people with smart minds in there, right? You have a little bit of something for everybody. And that's what I feel like I take pride with this show, right? You're the mechanical guy. Me, I'm the analytics guy. That was my forte. I want someone that knows how to work on a car, and I also want someone that knows how to run data. Boom. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's stupid. I think it's idiotic that they continue saying that Dale Jr. has ruined the sport. But we'll talk about the Earnharts in a minute, because, like I said, I want to touch a little bit base with you and our fans about the Dale's documentary. So, fast headliners this week, courtesy of jski.com. Jake, this week, a few short headliners coming in between Nashville and Michigan International Speedway. First up, Connor Zilisch. I think a lot of people have been hearing that name a lot lately, and so much so we posted something on the Brooklyn Wilburn podcast. We'll talk about that in a minute too. Zilisch will be running the upcoming races at Atlanta and Watkins Glen on the Cup Series. So if you're a Connor Zilisch fan, I'm going to tell you right now that Watkins Glen date, circle that one around. Yeah. He is a road racer, man. Absolute road racer. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Excuse me real quick. I forgot the sound on my phone. That's my fault, folks. Headliner number 2, Total Play, to sponsor Carson Hocevar in Mexico City. Total Play is Mexico's leading telecommunications provider, which will serve as Carson Hocevar's primary sponsor when NASCAR runs at Mexico City. Update number 3, Real American Beer, which is Hulk Hogan's beer, will be returning to the NASCAR track and sponsoring Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at Michigan. Pretty good one.
Probably the best driver you could use to put it on that car.
Oh my God. The mullet in Mississippi. Yes. Oh my God.
There isn't a better driver to get sponsored by that than him.
Now we're talking about that. Who would win in a fight, Hocevar or Ricky Stenhouse Jr.?
I don't even think I want to see it on television. It'd be so embarrassing.
I don't know. I get the tag team of Ricky Sr. and Ricky Jr.
Hey, just like Denny said this week, Ricky.
Yeah, for years we've all said it, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., yeah. Right? But hey, listen, karma, right? Like, Hocevar knocked him out. We'll talk about that in Nashville in a second. Update number 4, Atlanta Motor Speedway will be renamed Echo Park Speedway. That contract runs until 2031. I am going to be honest with you. I don't care for racetracks that are corporate sponsored. I don't. No. I don't think it's I'm a nostalgic, respect the old school type of way. I know Charlotte had Bose Motor Speedway for what? I think it was like 13, 14 years.
Yeah, something like that.
I love it when it says Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's like, no, I'm in Charlotte, like Echo Park Speedway. Where the hell is that?
Yeah.
Again, it's SMI doing stupid shit as they usually do. Update number 5 this week, and final update this week from jski.com. Very Good Ventures will be sponsoring Daniel Suarez at Pocono. The paint scheme looks pretty cool. I'm going to post it up on the Brooklyn Wilburn podcast Facebook page. We'll be up there live to see this paint scheme. But what is Very Good Ventures? That was a very weird sponsor. Very Good Ventures is a company, an official digital design and development partner. They'll be they'll be working together with Trackhouse Racing in this season. So That's what Very Good Ventures is. They'll be on the Pocono car for Daniel Suarez. So those are our fast headliners, courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on X, Facebook, or by web at www.jski.com. So, all right. So that takes us to the green and white checker on that stage. What should we talk about next? Prime, or do we want to talk about Earnhardt? Let's talk about Prime.
Let's talk about Prime.
Let's talk about Prime. So, yeah, again, we've been kind of sprinkling it all throughout the episode, right? We're like little chefs here. We're sprinkling. Very, very interesting information, though, coming from Adam Stern this past week. And it was basically Amazon Prime's ratings for Nashville Super Speedway. He tweeted out that Prime Video got a 2.06 million viewership on Sunday for the Cup race at Nashville. That is down from last year's race, which was a 3.25 million on NBC, but that was before the weather delay. After the weather delay in 2024 at Nashville, the race got bumped over to USA Network, where it finished up with a 2.13 million viewer rating. So, listen, you and I, we love Amazon Prime. We love the coverage, and like I said, a little bit of everything: the mechanic, the analytics, telling a story, which I think Adam Alexander's really good at. Again, I'm interested to see how the ratings are going to go the next three more races, because we have Pocono, Mexico City, and Michigan. I did that in reverse, but that's our next three races. Second straight week, the viewership has been down. So I'm sure that NASCAR kind of gambled that into, thinking about the future, about what the sport's going to look like. But right now, it is a little bit disappointing that the viewership is down a little bit.
I mean, I did have people texting me on Sunday saying it's kind of shitty that NASCAR is going the same route the NFL went, with adding all these different viewerships. Now you got to pay to watch and this, that, and the other. I don't really think it's NASCAR going off of the beaten path and saying, "Oh, we got to make more money," because NASCAR doesn't need to make more money. It's more so the fact of how can we get different guys and a different group of people to announce these races, I think. And I personally think that there's been more positive feedback for Amazon than people really do. Like, I think you just hear all the hatred about it, but I think there's more positive than there are negatives. I'm not saying Fox sucks. Like, when you think of NASCAR, you think of Fox. You're going to watch it on Fox. But,
yeah.
I mean, what other place did you watch it when you would do post-race interviews and Amazon Prime's handing out beers to drivers and they're bullshitting? Like, that's sweet. Like, that's our sport. Like, that's what we like. We go to races, we drink fucking beer, and we have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are more bummed out that they got to pay that, $15 to be able to watch Amazon, which I get it. I mean, some people are like, I don't want to spend that money. I'll miss the race. I'll catch recaps when it's done. But you got to twiddle with things. NFL did it, and now NASCAR is doing it.
Yeah, and it's just not NASCAR, Jake. It's the NBA is going to Amazon Prime after the season, 2025, 2026. So a lot of sports are following that suit. But going back to your point, like, I think the best thing about Amazon Prime, in my personal opinion, is that you have a pre-race show, you have a post-race show, right? Fox has not given us that.
There's no post-race show, really.
There's no post-race show. I mean, even when they're on FS1, they're immediately going to the UFL. They're immediately, even like, I mean, the 500, they'll always give a pre-race show. And like, honestly, not just the 500. Every single race on Fox usually gives us a pre-race show. But that's not where I want to see the show. I want to see it in the post-race too. I want to hear the interviews, like the actual interviews. I don't need three guys that got hot on NASCAR like during the race, and then you interview them, and then that's it. And then we're going to watch the St. Louis Battlehawks. Like, yeah. I don't care.
I feel like with Fox, all you got was right after the race, they'd interview the top three guys, and then maybe 2 or 3 other guys here. How'd your race day go? What happened here? And that's it, done. I don't like that.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. And like NBC does the same thing, and I get it. They're on network. What is it? They keep saying, "Oh, it's the network and it's the cable." But well, this is the route that you got to go. And like, listen, NBC had the benefit of NBC Sports for so many years. NBC Sports went extinct after 2021. So they moved all their NASCAR shows. They moved all their NASCAR shows. They moved all the post race NASCAR stuff to Peacock. So, like, if you didn't have Peacock subscription, you didn't read or hear anything after the race. And that's what I like about Prime. It's like, it's a one-stop shop. Now, granted, there's nothing pushing Prime out the window. Like, you could just go straight NASCAR for 5 hours and just be like, hey, we're here. Like I said, in regards to the viewership, it does stink that it is down because, quite frankly, I think that this broadcast has been one of the best that we honestly, it's been the best broadcast in my mind. Now, granted, I've been watching NASCAR since probably, I vaguely remember the late 90s. I vaguely remember the Bob Jenkins broadcast booth. I know I'm going to have fans that will remember that. I vaguely remember that. NASCAR on Fox 2001 was really the start of my NASCAR fandom, like legitimately comprehending what the broadcasters have said. NASCAR on Fox was really good in that first 5-year contract. Now, granted, I also thought NBC/TNT was as well that first 5 years. And then when they divided up between NBC, TNT, Fox, and then ESPN got back into it, that's where NASCAR broadcasting and that's where it all went downhill. It became a circus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ESPN tried to put the flame out for years by putting Alan Bestwick back in the booth, but the damage was already done. It was already done, and you mocked it. So, but I do think that Prime's taken the initiative to go, hey, listen, this is what the fans want. This is what the fans want to see. This is what they want to hear. The one thing I love about the Amazon Prime coverage is I love the side-by-side racing every single lap. Every single lap, right? At the end of the stage, they do the full commercial breakdown. That's completely fine. I'm okay with that. You're going to have that. But during the race, they do that side by side every single lap. I know where every single car is at, I feel like, on that track. The camera angles, I talked about it last week. They hop around from the grandstands into the infield, all the way around. It's fascinating viewership. And then I love how it's commercial free, and Amazon Prime even puts that up on the screen.
Yep.
Commercial free until checker flag.
Exactly.
When have we ever seen that?
I mean, when I like you said, when I started watching NASCAR and really knew it, I was watching DW. I mean, with my old man, but that's about as far as I know back. But I want to go back to like even the viewership, dude. To have 2 million people watching on Amazon Prime, that's 2 million people who have Amazon Prime and buy it. That's still huge numbers because you're not getting like on when you watch it on Fox, everybody gets that. You know what I mean? I mean, 2 million people went on and either had Amazon or bought Amazon to watch it. That's huge numbers to me. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, you're not going to beat the Fox that everybody can turn their TV on and go right to Fox. If you have cable or not, internet, fucking satellite, you have the channel. So to have 2 million people on Prime is huge to me. I mean, I think they're going in the right direction. I think it's going to get more in the next 3 weeks too. 100%.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, the best thing that could ever happen for me, like for someone like myself who like I do straight streaming, like I mean my cable television's Hulu Live. So I have Hulu Live, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime, and I forget what the other one my wife has. My wife has everything. But anyway.
Join the club.
I hope she's not listening. The point is that she's got every single subscription. So like even the next, like, so you got the 5 races on Amazon Prime. Once Pocono's done, we go to Atlanta. That's on TNT. But if you don't have cable, if you have HBO Max, Turner Sports is on HBO Max. So you could go 10 races this whole summer without actually having to pay for a cable bill.
Yep.
I think it's a big win for me.
Yeah.
Massive win. Again, I would like to see the viewership go up. I do want to see those numbers go up.
I think you're going to see it go up.
I do too. I think that this is still very, very new. It's year 1 of this agreement. It's very raw. It's very new. But I think that a lot of the responses back from the broadcast booth have been outstanding the first 2 weeks. Our good friend Triova Life of the show, he said it best. He's like, if you are that poor to have $8.99 not laying around, then you need to reevaluate your life. And I agree with you. And also, here's the other thing. For all the fans that are complaining and going, oh, well, free subscriptions and all that don't really count because they still take your credit card. Well, you can call, believe it or not, there's a concept. You can call Amazon Prime and call them up. Just be like, I want to cancel my subscription. And guess what they'll do? They'll cancel. They're one of the easiest customer service bases to ever deal with. So anyways, Amazon Prime, absolutely, in my opinion, is killing the NASCAR broadcasting game. I would love to see the viewership up. But the one thing I will say, Jake, this past weekend, I got an opportunity to watch the Earnhardt documentary. 4-parter, Amazon Prime. Sorry, folks that don't have Prime. You're going to cry again. But man, oh man, what a documentary. Killed it out of the park. Absolutely nailed it. Dirty Mo Media, Ron Howard were all involved. So much information in my mind. If you have not seen this documentary, go to Prime this weekend or within the next couple weeks and go watch it. It's crazy because in the 90s, every sport had that hero, right? They had the NFL, they had their quarterbacks, they had John Elway, Brett Favre coming up through the ranks, the Cowboys. Basketball was Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan era. And then in hockey, you had Mario Lemieux, you had a few others, and the Detroit Red Wings. But NASCAR, to me, had a Michael Jordan. They had, legitimately had a Michael Jordan. And this documentary, to me, in my opinion, was quote-unquote NASCAR's version of The Last Dance. There was a bunch of uncovered footage. I don't even know where they must have raided like CBS, everybody for this footage because the pre-race interviews that I've never seen in my life. And it was just remarkable. And then to see his relationship, Dale Sr. with Dale Jr. and hearing Dale Jr. talk about his relationship. And it was a lot more disappointing than the media made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship got better, obviously, when Jr. made it to Cup. But at the same time, he was his father, but it wasn't I'm not giving you a free ride. I'm the superhero, not you, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it was remarkable. Even the business aspects and the business inside of what Dale was involved with all the merchandise sales and all that type of stuff. It's remarkable. If you get a chance, like I said, you got to watch it on Amazon Prime. And like I said, yeah, NASCAR legitimately doesn't get talked about enough, but Dale Sr. legitimately is the Michael Jordan of the sport. Hands down. No question at all. Yeah, he really is. I
don't see that title leaving his name for our lifetime.
The thing is, too, it's obviously we had Richard Petty. He won 200 races. Yeah. I get that part. And yes, there were more cars on the track, but let's call it as is with Richard Petty. And I'm not going to make that argument. If you think Richard Petty is the best of all time,
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not going to argue with you. But Dale legitimately was in an era where NASCAR became more aggressive. It became more thunderous. Some of the rivalries that Dale Sr. had in the 80s. Obviously, Darrell Waltrip. There's footage of him wrecking Darrell Waltrip at Richmond. But then you see him and Tim Richmond, even though I'm wearing a Tim Richmond hat, but the two of them going back and forth was outstanding. That was outstanding cinema every single week. Dale Sr. and Ricky Rudd had issues. And then obviously in the early 90s when Jeff Gordon came onto the scene, Rainbow Warrior. For God's sakes, my dad on his truck literally had that kid peeing logo on the 24. I wasn't allowed to be a Jeff Gordon fan because you grew up
in a great house. You grew up in a great house if you weren't allowed to be a Gordon fan.
I wasn't allowed to be a Gordon fan, even though the car was a lot cooler. But I wasn't allowed to be a Gordon fan because my dad would have thrown me out of the house probably. But it was that type of stuff. Now, the one thing that was interesting about Dale Sr. too is that I think what gets lost in the sauce in his career, he had some really down years.
Yeah.
He won the 98 500, but in 98 he went winless in 1997.
Yep.
Now, granted, he had a late career surge in 99. He ended up winning 3 races. In 2000, he won 3 races, and obviously 01, we know the death of Dale Sr. But it's I look back on after watching the documentary, and it's no, I really do not anybody take this the wrong way. I really wish that Dale Sr. was around because I wanted to see what he would have done as a businessman, which he was growing into. What I would have loved to see what DEI would have been, what his business side was in. But sometimes I get nervous with drivers that are so elite and so great because they don't want to hang it up. So how bad would Dale Sr. have gotten if he never died?
There would be Earnhardt. I got Junior Motorsports, but there'd be Earnhardt Motorsports, whatever the heck they would have called it.
Yeah.
And it probably would be competing very highly with HMS, Penske. It would be a top. You would have that team would have won championships for sure. And you go back to real quick before we keep going on. You talk about the GOAT status, Richard Petty. I mean, dude, there's people out there that think Jimmy Johnson is. I mean, you can't knock him for the guys won 7 championships too. I mean, it's whatever style. I mean, you think of NASCAR, the first thing that people don't know anything about NASCAR, think of Dale Earnhardt, and that's it. I mean, there's people who know Richard Petty, obviously, but it's so hard to not put that status on him from what he did to this. And it's like you said about what they make out the junior and seniors relationship. Like, I hate seeing the videos that people are like, oh, Junior had to get in a racing to try to get his dad's attention. Bullshit. Look at the fucking relationship behind the scenes. Senior loved that kid to death, if he raced or not.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting because going back to what you were saying in the documentary, they literally thought so. Like, and Dale Jr. talked about it in the documentary, and he said that like he was as a kid, he was, I mean, acting up, and him and Teresa put him in military school. So he went to military school and all that type of stuff. And then when he got out of military school, he wanted to race so bad. Well, that he started drawing race cars. And he started doing artwork. So Teresa and Dale Sr. thought he wanted to be an artist. So they're like, well, what art school do you want to go to? He's like, I don't want to be an artist. I want to go race cars. Yeah. So he ended up racing cars. And Dale basically brought him and Carrie, told both of them to go down to the junkyard, go get yourself a car, fix it up, and go race it. I'm not paying for this. Dale said that. He's like, I'm not paying this for you guys to race. Well, eventually someone within like his business organization said, Dale, all the kids are getting top line equipment. You might want to help your kids out. So he eventually helped them out. But what he said was to them, he's like, you wreck it, that's it. It's done. I'm not giving you a free ride. And when he told Dale Jr., and one thing that Dale Jr. said in the documentary, which I loved and was interesting as anything, was when he ended up getting into the Busch Series. He basically, his dad told him, he's like, listen, if you win, they're going to come. Don't embarrass me. Do not embarrass me. So Dale Jr. in his first race in Busch ends up wrecking the car. And he thought his racing career was over. So him and his buddies go home that night. They're drinking beers and all that type of stuff in the house. And his dad rolls up, walks into the house, tells all of Dale Jr.'s friends, get the F off my property. And Dale Jr. even said in the documentary, he's like, I thought my dad was going to kick my ass. And he literally said to him, Dale Sr. said to Dale Jr., he goes, son, you wrecked your car. You need to go down there and go fix your car. I need that out of you. If you want to be elite, that's what you got to do. And Dale Jr. went there and said that was the first advice I got from my father. That was like a great advice.
I mean, think about it back in the day when we were watching racing, when we grew up, dude. Like, you know how now it's driver gets out of the car, it's over with. Look at way back when drivers would get out of the car and help try to fix it. Yeah. Like, give me something. I mean, they look like idiots, but still, they're like, it's the fact of it's that perspective right there.
Duct tape. The duct tape was always my favorite.
You wreck this car, you're gonna try to help fix it.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that they went away from that. But I mean, I get it, the whole safety bullshit. But
safety.
I remember watching races with my dad that my freaking feet didn't hit the freaking floor when I was sitting on the couch, and I'm like, holy shit, these freaking drivers are out there fixing the cars with these guys. Like, holy shit, like they want to get back out there and race.
Yeah, and like that's the sad part about NASCAR, though. You don't see that today.
No,
you don't see that today. But again, it was a great documentary. The one final point of it, which was really sad. They basically said in the documentary, they're like, Dale Jr. ended up picking this whole entire fan base up that his father left behind. And it's like, he didn't really ask for it because there was so much pressure on him to be his dad. Then you know what the best thing is that Dale Jr. wasn't his dad. Dale Jr. was his own entity, right? And I got to give a lot of respect to Kelly Earnhardt.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly is a businesswoman. Like, if you are a woman watching the sport, or if you are a woman in general and you want to get into business, like that should be your role model. That girl is legitimately one of the most intelligent women I have ever seen. Like, even in the documentary, just listening to her talk about the calculations and just being there for Dale Jr. and like doing his finances and all that type of stuff. Like, I mean, she runs one of the best Xfinity Series teams in NASCAR right now. I know Dale's part of it, Junior Motorsports, but Kelly runs the show.
Kelly, and she doesn't get enough recognition for it, but 100% agree. That lady is phenomenal.
Yeah. No, but if you have not watched it yet, again, Earnhardt on Prime, such a masterpiece. Just a
Man, I'm ashamed. I
masterpiece.
haven't even watched it yet, and I grew up in an Earnhardt fucking family. I haven't even watched it yet.
Yeah, did you? So I mean, it sounds like you grew up as a Gordon fan. I'm just saying. All right. Speaking of which, we did have a race weekend this past weekend down in Nashville. Before we get started on the Cup, Rajay Caruth won the truck race on the Rackley 250 or Rackley 200 on Friday in Nashville Super Speedway. Second career win for Rajay Caruth.
Huge win for him.
Big win. Yeah, big win. I mean, dude, he won his third race last year after HendrickCars.com sponsored him.
Yep.
Ends up this year, I don't want to say he was awful. He has not been awful at all. He just, I've been waiting for him to take that next step and get that.
I was waiting for this win.
Yeah, and he came around, got the win down in Nashville. Massive win for Rajay Caruth. Really happy to see that. Another driver I absolutely love is one of my prospects. Justin Allgaier won Saturday. He won the Tennessee Lottery 250. So Little Gator got it done on Saturday night. So, okay, for the Cup though, Jake, your boy Ryan Blaney took care of business on Sunday night at Nashville Super Speedway for his first win of 2025. Let's talk about the final stat line, courtesy of NASCAR.com. Ryan Blaney was your winner. Carson Hocevar finished second. Denny Hamlin finished third. Joey Logano finished fourth. William Byron finished fifth. Bubba Wallace finished sixth. Eric Jones finished seventh. Kyle Larson finished eighth. Tyler Reddick finished ninth. And Christopher Bell finished 10th in this race. Your stage one winner was Denny Hamlin, followed by Reddick, Briscoe, Byron, Bell, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Michael McDowell, Joey Logano, and Ross Chastain. Your stage two top 10 was Ryan Blaney was your stage winner, followed up by William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Austin Cindric, Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, Josh Berry, and Christopher Bell. Final laps led in this race. Blaney, he ended up leading the most in this race. He led for 5 times, 139 laps. Followed up by Denny Hamlin for 5 times, 79 laps. Joey Logano led 1 time for 10 laps. Byron led once for 1 lap. And then you had Tyler Reddick. He led twice for 7 laps. Chase Briscoe started on the pole, led twice for 51 laps. Austin Cindric led 1 time for 2 laps. Brad Keselowski led 1 time for 3 laps. And then Austin Dillon led for 1 time for 8 laps in this event. Again, all final stat lines courtesy of NASCAR.com. With that being said, Jake, 5th year at Nashville Super Speedway. This was the 5th event. What do you think about this track?
I mean, I think this track brings a lot of people out to watch it. I mean, you hear Nashville. Nashville's gotten big. I mean, it's not even in fucking Nashville, but whatever. It brings out this huge fan base. I mean, another sold-out crowd. Huge weekend. Big party weekend down there for them guys down there in that state. But I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't liked this track for the first year they raced it. I'm just not a concrete type of racetrack type of guy. I mean, if you're good at them, you're good at them. If you're not, you're not type of thing. I mean, Ryan Blaney, I'm not going to use the word dominant because he didn't dominate the race, but he showed that he can race on them. I mean, you saw the same guys out front all day long. I feel the same way about Dover. I mean, Dover's in our backyard. I'm going to go to it to support the sport. And I love going to watch NASCAR. I'm just not a fan of concrete tracks. But they're never going to get rid of it. I don't want them to get rid of it. I mean, it's a different atmosphere when you go there and race. You get different racing. I think it's good for the sport. I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it any better. Love the venue. Or love the market, hate the venue, if that makes any sense to our fans. The year 5, this is the 5th event. Kyle Larson won the first one. Chase Elliott won year 2. Ross won year 3. Joey Logano won year 4. And Ryan Blaney won year 5. Blaney and Logano, kind of weird situation, kind of identical in the points. Not just kind of identical in the points, but very identical average finish going into the race. Both come out on top victorious, and Nashville clinch a spot in the playoffs. My whole thing, though, with Nashville Super Speedway, I totally agree with you. I think that it's follow the leader the whole night.
Yes.
I truly believe that. I think a lot of these cars had a hard time getting around each other on the track. I don't know necessarily if this is a NASCAR issue in regards to the car itself with the wake, but at the same time, I mean, how many laps did we see Briscoe? I mean, Hamlin just literally could not get around Briscoe in the first stage. And then not just that, then you had William Byron, who to me had the better car.
Yes.
But then got in the dirty air and then basically pretty much fell apart. It's the same stuff and the same issues that I talked to a couple people about with Dover. I don't know if it's a concrete aerodynamic wake issue on this concrete or what it is, but I feel like Nashville Super Speedway and Dover both race the same way. Now, again, the restarts in Nashville, I will say this: they're one of the best. They're the best restarts in the sport. They are.
Guys are going everywhere.
You have guys going all over the place. But again, though, you had a lot of those drivers. I mean, Byron was the only one to really stick it on the high line throughout the whole entire race. Every restart, he went in the high line, got around a couple people, and then but then stalled out. But then
I just feel like the dirty air, and that's like you just said with Dover. You get in dirty air, you're screwed. And it's like Dover's the same way. When a restart's happening, guys are trying to get that's where you're going to make your passes. And you saw it in Nashville. I mean, look at the end. I mean, everybody knows I love him, but look at that one of the last restarts. Kyle Larson went from 13th up to 8th, and he just rode there to the end of the race.
Yeah,
that's how you're going to make your passes is on the restarts. And I don't like watching races that's follow the leader, but I mean, you see guys do shit that they probably don't want to do to pass people. I mean, that's when it kind of keeps viewers' eyes right on the screen.
Well, and that's the problem I think with tracks like Nashville Super Speedway, right? I feel like Dover's the same way, Nashville's the same way. Bristol obviously turned out to be similar to both these guys. I mean, I don't know if it's concrete / this package issue. But the only way that you make passes in this next gen car on these concrete tracks is legitimately hope for a caution.
Yep.
And then try to, beat and bang to try to get the lead in the front. And, is that something that we want to have NASCAR produce? Is that something that we want our fans to see? And is that great racing? I don't necessarily think so. But the problem is that it kind of goes hand to hand a little bit with they have to fix the aerodynamics on this vehicle, number one, because if they don't, then you're going to have tracks like Nashville the other night. You get in the dirty air of the wake, you're done. But for me, going back to the track in general, I don't want them to leave the market. I don't, because they sold out. I mean, Nashville really, they've done an incredible job the last 5 years of selling this place out. They really have. In regards to the racing, and has this been aggressive, great racing every single year? No, it hasn't been. But again, if you continue selling out, NASCAR is going to, they will keep you on the date.
Yeah.
But they just have to give them a better production or product, in my personal opinion. And again, it goes back to the aero issue that we've been talking about now for the last 3 damn years.
You have to change the car for certain tracks. I mean, you just can't race. You just can't race the same car every damn weekend. And NASCAR's got to be like, okay, they've got to come up with stipulations like, okay, when we race at Nashville, you can do this, 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 and this to the car. Let's try to make the race better. Let's try to make it that it's not follow the leader and on restarts. Everybody's looking at it, and then boom, 2 laps later, you're sitting back just watching the same cars go around in circles because nothing's happening. NASCAR's got to have to step in and be like, okay, we got to maybe make some tweaks here and there.
Well, and the other thing too, listen, and I'll say this, in regards to this car, and yes, we've been complaining about it for a while, but it definitely tells you, and it shows you that we may have an issue with the vehicle when first to second place is about 1.13 seconds, in intervals. But then if you're watching the race on Sunday night, I mean, I think we were the first 25 laps. And I think let's just use Chase Elliott as an example because I knew he was in the top 10. Chase Elliott was sitting in 6th. When Briscoe was in the lead, Chase Elliott was almost 7.23 seconds behind the leader. I mean, they get spread out so easily on that type of surface and the track. And again, I would be naive. I'll be sitting there lying to you if I told you I've watched every single Dover race and every single Nashville Super Speedway race, because I haven't. I mean, at Nashville, yes, but Dover, no. I mean, we have years and years and years of data. I know that for years though, when Dover ran the 500 miles, I know that Dover literally spread out like
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
So it may not just be his generation car. It just may be the concrete surface. It just might be. But again, though, it brings another unique aspect to the sport, right? Like NASCAR's not going to be like, okay, Nashville, okay, Dover, okay, Bristol, you're going to pave it to, you're not going to have concrete anymore. You're going to have asphalt on the track. They're not going to do that because it brings another element to the sport to the drivers. So, again, I guess the biggest term tonight for me with Nashville Super Speedway, love the market. Don't care for the venue.
Correct. I agree with you 100%.
But you know who did care for the venue? The driver of the 12, Ryan Blaney. I'm going to pass the mic off to you.
And all the freaking idiots who cheer for him. No, I'm just kidding. No, I give credit when credit's due. Ryan Blaney raced a really good race. Great win for him. It was a win that he needed. That's the gorilla off his back. Kind of can open up all doors now for the rest of the season. I mean, you already win, you're in. So if there's anything they got to change and do, or what he can do as a driver to kind of make some tweaks to be like, I was nervous to do this 2 weeks ago and didn't have a win. Now I can do it. It's huge. I mean, those Penske cars are fast this year. All three Penske cars have won a race this year, and they've been fast. I mean, it was a much-needed win for Ryan Blaney, and I think he deserved it. I think this was a great track for him to win. And there are tracks coming up that Ryan Blaney is very good at. So I'm not saying this is his last win because I don't personally think it is. I hope it is, but I don't think it's going to be.
Going back to your point on Ryan Blaney, tracks that he's really good at. We got a few coming up that we know the 12 is going to be really good at. One, Michigan, he's already won there in his career. Pocono, he's won at Pocono. He's won at Atlanta. He's won on the old surface at Atlanta, but still he has a win at Atlanta. He's getting much better at Dover. He almost won at the Brickyard 400 last year. Iowa, he won at. So the next 10 races, he's got some 5 of those tracks are number 12's in number 12's wheelhouse. Going back to your point though, massive win for the 12 team. Massive win for Ryan Blaney. And here's why. One, he's got 5 DNFs on the year. How do you neutralize those DNFs?
One win.
Because those DNFs will not come back and bite you in the butt.
If I'm Ryan Blaney, I don't even think about that I had 5 DNFs. That's over with now. I'm in the playoffs.
At this point,
I'm full focus to that championship at this point. If I'm in his head, that's guaranteed that's what he thinks.
Well, I totally agree with you. And what I was going to say with that, Jake, is that with this win at Nashville, my goal now, and it's the same thing I said when Bell won 3 races in a row. It's the same thing when Byron won the 500. Go for gold.
Yep.
Go for it. Who cares? You don't need – it doesn't matter how many DNFs you have at this point because you already locked yourself into the playoffs. Now, granted, if we have all these different winners, maybe it becomes a different story. Maybe you race a little bit more conservatively. But at this point, you got tracks that you're really good at. Michigan, we already know how good Ford is up in Michigan.
Yes.
That is their playground. I don't know what it is with that track and Ford, but they just run well up there.
Motor City, baby.
Motor City. Pocono. You got 2 career wins at Pocono from Ryan Blaney last year, and we're going to be running the same package that we did last year, which probably is not going to show that much tire wear on that track, which is ridiculously stupid. Atlanta, you're a good drafter. And then you have, Brickyard. You already know that's your boss owns that track, so you're going to go for it there. Iowa, you won last year, so my whole thing is, it's not the question is, where does Ryan Blaney go in the championship run, but where in the world? How many more wins do we see Ryan Blaney get before the playoffs start?
I think he's got 3 going into the playoffs. I think
he's got 3 too. The thing is about this 12 team, Jake, and for our audience listening, Ryan Blaney has been crazy fast. The biggest enemy of Ryan Blaney has been Ryan Blaney and Team Penske. His own team has killed him. Look, he started the season off with the 7th at Daytona, 4th at Atlanta, 19th at the Circuit of the America. Okay, whatever. Then he had that 3-race stretch. Phoenix, he finished 28th. Vegas, he finished 25th. And Homestead, he finished 26th. Well, he had mechanical failures in 2 of those 3 races. Then he went to Martinsville, finished 11th. Darlington, he finished 5th. Bristol, he finished 5th. Coming out of the Easter break, he finished 37th at Talladega. Very fluky situation, got wrecked in that race. Then Charlotte, he got wrecked in the race as well. Ryan Blaney, since Martinsville, which, going to my math, that's 8 races ago, has an average finish of 12.8. Again, he finished 28th at Phoenix, 35th at Vegas, and 36th at Homestead. In those 8 races, he's got 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. The only 2 races that he did not finish well was the 37th at Talladega, where, as I said, he wrecked, and then the 38th at Charlotte, where he wrecked as well. Ryan Blaney, again, his biggest enemy is Team Penske and the engine.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. Nobody can stop. And let's call it as is. He finished 5th at Darlington. If that stupid caution doesn't come out at the end of the race, I know Larson spun. That caution doesn't come out. That's a win right there. So there's 2 wins for Blaney. I'm going to tell you right now, I think the 12 is we're getting into these summer months, folks. And if you're a Blaney fan, I'm going to say it on air. We're getting into these summer months. I'm really, really thinking that Ryan Blaney right now, he might be the driver I'm circling and penciling in going, yeah, that might be my championship pick this year. Because that car has had speed. The only reason why some of those finishes aren't the way they were is because of his stupid-ass pit crew, his stupid-ass mechanics, and all stupid different types of failures. Nothing that Ryan Blaney can control.
Exactly.
I mean, even Talladega. Synchronized pit stops. It was a Ford that took Ryan Blaney out. Yeah. It was Brad Keselowski that took him out. It wasn't his fault.
Correct.
But massive win for the 12 team, like you said. And the whole thing is, how do you neutralize 5 DNFs? 1 win.
Yep.
Again, going back to your point, I think he's got 3 wins going into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I got Brickyard Circle, man. That's going to be Blaney versus what he calls the Golden Boy. That race is my race this year.
Round two. So going from Ryan Blaney, who is a Cup champion already, let's go to a driver that is kind of up on the rise right now, has been making a lot of headways. That's Carson Hocevar. Right now, according to NASCAR.com, his 2025 season stats have not been totally great. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 1 pole, 4 DNFs, 38 laps led, average finish of 21.5, and an average start of 19.5. Okay, not great at all, or not terrible, but not great. Right now, is sitting 17th in the standings. Let's talk about over his last 6 races. He won the pole at Texas, which that was a big get for Spire Motorsports. Second pole of the season, I believe. McDowell had Vegas.
Yeah.
He's had an average finish of 17.1, so that's higher than his seasonal average of 21.5. But he's had multiple issues that have costed him top 5s, possibly wins. The first one was at Texas when he won the pole, but he had issues with Ryan Preece on a restart. And then the blown engine at Charlotte last week. We talked about Ross Chastain and how he ended up picking up Trackhouse Racing with, that win at Charlotte. But we could have been talking about easily Carson Hocevar at the end of that race. A mechanical issue by Spire and the engine failing is what cost Carson Hocevar that win. Listen, I love young drivers succeeding in this sport. Carson Hocevar looks like he's going to be a wrecking ball for years to come. And I think that, in my personal opinion, we were just talking about Blaney, how many wins does he have before the playoffs? Here's my cold, bold prediction. Carson Hocevar wins a race before the playoffs.
No, he wins a race before the playoffs, and he wins one and the playoffs.
I think that's a fair
Look at the way that he races. He's going to win one. If he makes the playoffs, I mean, it's going to be a lot of beating back. He's going to have a lot of enemies, but he's going to win one.
I completely agree with you on that. I mean, the Spire team has been very interesting this year. McDowell's had speed. They've been falling off a little bit lately. Hocevar, like I just said with the stats, over the last 6 races, 17.1 average finish. Finished second at Nashville. That's his he finished second in Atlanta earlier this year. There could be a couple of races coming up in my mind. Michigan this week could be a Carson Hocevar track where, open wheel, just ripping around the track. Pocono, for some odd reason, I feel like Pocono's that track where he gets that win. Atlanta, he came up second last year, or back in the spring, excuse me. I agree. I think that if he wins a race in the regular season to get him into the playoffs, I think Kosovar does win a race in the playoffs. I really do, and I think or if he doesn't, he's going to make the show entertaining as anything.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If he doesn't, if he don't win a race in the playoffs, it's because he made too many enemies and someone's going to take him out. And I can name one guy right now that's going to take him out when it matters the most.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Because I'll tell you right now, he ain't going to go to Michigan and be like, "Oh, I'm going to wreck you in Michigan." He is going to wait, and when you and Ricky will freaking put his own car in the fucking wall to do this. He'll go a goddamn lap down and wreck your ass.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, that's a guy that does not forget. And dude, Denny Hamlin made a good point. He's like, dude, on his podcast, he's like, if he wrecked me, you're fucked. I will ruin your race day. I don't care what I have to do. I will find you, and you will go into the wall. And that's the thing that makes me upset about Carson Hocevar, because he's got great talent. He's got a fast car. He's a great race car driver for a young kid like he is. But he makes stupid decisions. He does not race clean.
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing nowadays. If you don't race clean, you're going to make enemies, and these guys will make you know that I am your enemy and I don't like you.
Well, look at Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin. I mean, Ross Chastain literally got taken out of that Phoenix race in 2023 because of the Denny Hamlin nonsense a year before. I completely agree. I mean, the one thing with Hocevar is that if he's a hard, and Jack checked in on the chat line. He said he's a hard racer. Yeah, I mean, he's a hard racer, but if you continue wrecking somebody, karma's going to find you. But at the same time, like and again, though, going back to Spire Motorsports, they have this undercover type of speed that, again, if they can just put a complete race together, which they kind of did at Nashville, if they could continue putting these complete races together, and unlike Charlotte, where they had speed, but then a blown engine and all that type of stuff. I mean, he's going to find victory lane really quickly. Now, I kind of brought this point up to somebody this past week, and I said, imagine Carson Hocevar and Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, imagine him in the 48. I mean, or even here, better.
That's
one.
A lot of speed.
Or the 9. Imagine him in the 9. I mean, I think that Hocevar might be leading the points.
Could be. I mean, you got to beat that 24, which is the Hendrick guy right now. I hate to say it, but I love William Byron. Don't think I don't like him, but he's on a team like you said, Hendrick or Penske or even Joe Gibbs, and being in one of their better cars. Like,
yeah,
that kid could have already had 2 wins this year.
I easily. I mean, how many more laps honestly, and I'll ask this question on air right now, and this might be it might not be your question of the week, but I'll ask it on air. Who would you rather have, Chase Briscoe or Carson Hocevar?
I want to bring that up. Like, Chase Briscoe, I was like, dude, like when he won the pole, I'm like, this kid looks so fast this weekend. Where the fuck did he go? Like, what the fuck happened, dude? Did you just kind of like, I'm going to put in cruise control and just hang out?
Yeah, I mean,
kid's freaking good. And he's in a great car to be in right now.
Yeah, but the results just have not been there for
him.
It
hasn't been there.
And that's what I'm saying. I think I would take Hocevar.
I mean, I would take Chase Briscoe just because of how I know Chase Briscoe. I'm actually a fan of Chase Briscoe. I would take him. Mm-hmm. But the way that Hocevar races and where he's been finishing recently, and he's been up there, and his name's talked about almost every week recently during a race, you can't not take Hocevar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I think Hocevar might be my pick. I think I would take Hocevar over Briscoe. I know Briscoe's got 2 career wins, but I take Hocevar. I think Hocevar's got the higher potential ceiling. And that's the other thing, too. Briscoe, I believe, is 30 years old. I mean, Hocevar is 23.
Oh, he's a young guy.
You have him for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Whereas Briscoe, Briscoe's almost in that point of his career, in that career paradigm where you're kind of like, you don't produce in the next 2 years, he's gone.
Oh, he got set up on the contract where he's at now, man. You fumble the bag, you're gone, dude. Like, we'll find somebody else. We'll find somebody like a Hocevar to replace you.
speaking of a former Joe Gibbs Racing driver coming out of Nashville Super Speedway that kind of fumbled the bag with Joe Gibbs Racing, then went to Petty Enterprise and all that type of stuff. Let's talk about Eric Jones. Eric Jones does not get talked about enough on this show. I think honestly, Legacy Motor Club in general. The last couple of weeks, these two drivers have been flashing some speed, like legit raw speed. Let's start off with Eric Jones, and we'll talk about John Hunter Nemechek in a second. Eric Jones, according to NASCAR.com, 2025 average finish is a 20.4 right now. Again, not great. He's got one top 5, 2 top 10s, but it's more of let's go in depth of what he has done since Darlington. Since Darlington, this 43 team has finally found probably life for the first time in the last couple of years. I mean, this team has been dead. There has been nothing exciting. He won that race in the Southern 500 in 2022, and he just checked out. I mean, that was Petty Enterprises and Petty GMS in general. But since Darlington, he's got one top 5, 2 top 10s in the 7-race stretch, but 5 finishes. And this is what I talked about going in the offseason, going into the regular season. How many finishes can Eric Jones finish above 20th place? Well, Eric Jones in the last 7 races has finished 5 races above 20th. 5. So the car has been improving. The speed has been much better. And his average finish has been in the last 7 races is at a 16.8. Eric Jones and Legacy, I don't know what's going on. They found a little bit of speed. And, this past weekend, it was nice to see that 43 kind of compete. Something that we haven't seen since Darlington back in 2022.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm like when I was watching this weekend, I'm like, holy fuck, where the fuck is the 43? Where the hell did the 43 car come from? Holy shit, this guy's going like, and he had speed, dude, like speed. And I'm like, damn, like I was literally sitting there, I'm like, could win the race. Yeah, I had Matt Codd saying it could win the race. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I was just happy for the way that he finished and the way that he raced the race. I mean, I don't like to give wins out there to people because it's like, oh, we keep talking about, he could have a win. But like, dude, Eric Jones keeps this up. He could freaking have a win. He's got the speed. He's got the car. I mean, he's very knowledgeable when it comes to racing. He knows what he needs to do. And
yeah,
I'm happy with it. I like seeing names that you don't see every fucking week. Like this guy. You see it every freaking week, every single week. I like seeing these guys that are like dude, Carson Hocevar. He came he was coming up. People knew about him. Like boom, this year, like Carson Hocevar. And now you got Eric Jones, and it's like I like this. I don't like seeing the same person win every goddamn week. I don't like seeing the same person lead all the laps every freaking week. I don't like seeing the same people up in the top 5. I think it's great. I think it keeps people really intrigued in the racing. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Well, watch him. You'll know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Like with Eric Jones. I mean, and like I said, I mean, and listen, I heard something on like one of Harvick's podcasts, and they were like, we're tired of seeing Jimmy Johnson on the track. We are. But for some odd reason, him being on the track is kind of improving. Like they're finding something in that car with him being on the track, and he's translating it to the 43 and the 42. Now let's talk about Eric Jones' teammate, John Hunter Nemechek, who another one has had raw speed. Who's had, I mean, now again, one of my famous sayings on the show, and you'll hear me say a lot, and whoever's listening a lot, don't scoreboard watch. Do not scoreboard watch because it doesn't tell the full story. John Hunter Nemechek last week was a top 10 car until the 4th quarter of that race at the Coke 600, where he finished 27th. When he finished 27th in that race, I could not believe he finished 27th. I'm like, he was up in the front. Like, what happened to him? Well, the night came, speed died, whatever. John Hunter Nemechek is a guy that's been, again, legacy. This is an attribute to Legacy Motor Club. John Hunter Nemechek, according to NASCAR.com, 2025 average finish is 19.4. So he's about one position better than his teammate Eric Jones. John Hunter Nemechek has 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. Now, here's the thing with John Hunter Nemechek. Again, final results do not show the actual speed that this car has had. In the 7-race stretch since Darlington, he's had 2 top 10s and an average finish of 21.6, where Eric Jones has had a 16.8. But John Hunter Nemechek is doing something that Legacy did not do well last year, and that's collect stage points.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good stage. They had a good stage collection at Texas. They had a good stage collection at Kansas. They've had a good stage collection at Charlotte before he ended up fading in the back of the pack. All these points are kind of adding up. Legacy this offseason, I sat there and was like, I just need them to show me life. I just need something, After the Chevy debacle, they went to Toyota. I said, David Wilson's not going to let Jimmy Johnson fail. Last year was a total disaster from both those cars. Total disaster. And this year, on the other hand, the two of them actually, yes, they're still 22nd and 24th in the point standings. They're not in the playoffs yet. But what I have seen over the last 7 races from both the 43 and the 42, they have race-winning speed. Not race-winning speed, but top 5, top 10 capable speed of getting that car up there. You talk about Eric Jones. We talk about Hocevar going to Michigan. Eric Jones is another one. Eric Jones almost won California in 2022 in this next year.
Yeah.
Michigan ran like California. This could be a track that could be very good for Eric Jones. John Hunter Nemechek, I'm still trying to figure out what kind of driver he is. I think he's more of a short track driver. He's gotten a lot better results on the short tracks, but he's starting to turn some heads on the 1.5s. I will say that he's starting to turn some heads on the 1.5. So we got some of those races coming up. But so far, I had to bring out Legacy Motor Club this week on both those drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Well done by both of them, because it's kind of flying under the radar. And in my opinion, I think that I don't think either one of them find victory lane before the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs, either one of them. But I think that they continue building on a successful 2025, where 2026, that could be a team that could be taken off.
Oh, for sure. I agree. I would like to see one of them win a race this year, but I agree with you. This could be a stepping stone for them next year, and a team that's like, well, we're here too.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're at this point. Like is the Legacy rebuild over? Or not over, but is the Legacy rebuild almost over? I would say probably yes. Final Toyota driver I want to talk about this from this weekend, Jake. One driver that had kind of issues early in the race, kind of dug himself out of the hole. Bubba Wallace finished 6th in this race. Finished 6th and much needed 6th place finish at Nashville Super Speedway. This guy was a playoff driver. He still is a playoff driver, by the way.
Yes.
He is still a playoff driver, but the last 3 weeks have been absolutely brutal going into Nashville for him. 33rd at Texas, 33rd at Kansas, 35th at Charlotte. So over the last 5 stretch of races going into Nashville, or coming out of Nashville included, he has an average finish of 23 flat, and that's with the Nashville 6th place. So kind of good to see the 23 car kind of bounce back, and especially with the odds against him too, right? That's the one thing I keep telling people. I'm like, he was a lap down. Usually Bubba Wallace, and I don't, and I'm not making fun of Bubba. This isn't an anti-Bubba comment, but Bubba Wallace gets behind the 8 ball. He's usually mentally checked out. He usually checks out. But he starts going nuts, and he just checks out and finishes the race bad. This was a very, very big, massive growing up moment for Bubba Wallace. Nothing was going right early in that race for that 23 team. Comes up, finishes 6th, trust his crew chief, trust the speed of that car, and got the job done. Well done this week.
Yep. It's a great stepping stone for him for the rest of the season. Like I said, 3 weeks that he struggled, that whole team struggled actually, but to finish 6th, he's going to go to Michigan, which I think he's going to be strong in as well. I mean,
it's a really good Bubba Wallace track.
It is.
Really good Bubba Wallace track.
So I think him finishing 6th is a victory for him and that team. So I'll be interested to see how he takes that into Michigan, which I think it's going to be all positive for him.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Before we get to our final topic from Nashville, Jake, a couple of people checked into the Blown Engine line. Jess checked in. She says, hey Jess, how are you? Dave checks in. He goes, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Yes, that's right, Tim Richmond, Folgers. And then he was going back to the Ryan Blaney comment. Michigan has always been a good track. Well, we all at least have that this week. That's true. Ryan Blaney has always been good there. Jack, he checked in talking about Eric Jones. He won the dual race in dual race number 2, and then he didn't. Also, if you remember earlier this season, NASCAR kind of screwed Eric Jones out of that dual second race. Austin Cindric got the win. But Eric Jones, he continues saying he showed up in the beginning of the season. I totally agree. Eric Jones is on an upswing. He really is. And again, final point from Legacy is it's not about 2025, in my opinion. It never was. Even during the offseason predictions, it was never about 2025. It was always about 2026. Can this team take off in 2026? And I think they're on the right track to possibly do that. Okay, final topic. Let's talk about Hendrick Motorsports. We always got to talk about the powerhouse program. Hendrick, in my mind, I'm just going to say this right now. William Byron has been absolutely almost unstoppable. That 24 has been incredible. That I don't know what it is. It almost seems like he's only got one win, by the way. He's also got two races where he probably should have won, and then they blew it at the end. Darlington and Charlotte. We talked about last week with Charlotte. He's not a closer, but right now William Byron's got an average finish of 9.2.
Oh, William Byron's Hendrick Motorsports right now.
Right now, yeah, that 24.
I mean, I get it. Larson's got 3 wins. He's dominant in races. I mean, he pulled himself out of the fucking tornado this weekend and finished up with a top 10. But that guy hit Indy, crash, hit freaking Charlotte, crash, and his mind's like in fucking no man's land, and he's got to find his way out of it. But it's Byron. Byron's Hendrick Motorsports right now. Elliott, unfortunately, is a joke. Like, I didn't expect this out of like this many races in, dude, and your name hasn't really been talked about. It's not an Elliott thing.
Whoa. Time out. From all my Chase fans, all I've heard is how consistent Chase Elliott
is. He is consistent.
Consistently 15th. Like, yes. Consistently 15th. Let's go to Chase Elliott for a second. Like, Larson, I know Larson had a bad week against Charlotte in the duel, but okay, so Kyle Larson, real quick, finished 20th at Daytona. Okay, whatever. 3rd at Atlanta, 32nd at Coda, 3rd at Phoenix, 9th at Vegas, 1 at Homestead, 5th at Martinsville, 37th at Darlington, which was really odd. 1 at Bristol, finished 2nd at Talladega, finished 4th at Texas, finished 1st at Kansas, 37th at Charlotte, and 8th at Nashville. He's only had 3 finishes below 30th. Like, and usually it wasn't his fault either.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know the qualifying was not good last week at Nashville. He qualified 27th, but he still ended up finishing this race in 8th. So, like, I got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
But in regards to Chase Elliott, I read a stat today. I forget who it was, and I apologize because I love to credit my source. But Chase Elliott has only had 1 win in the last 84 races. 1 win in the last 84 races. He went 99 races before winning his first. We're almost at that level. Yes, I get that Chase Elliott is consistent. He's got 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and an average finish of 11.5. Enough is enough. You're in Hendrick Motorsports. You were a generational prospect. You're not anymore. You're not. Yeah, you're the 2020 Cup Series champion, whatever. That's fine and all that. 0 crown jewels. 0 crown jewel wins. Yes, he's won at Talladega multiple times. He's won at different types of tracks. He won the championship. I'll give him his accolades. Like, I like Chase Elliott. There's nothing wrong with him. But every single week, I got to sit there and go, well, is Chase Elliott going to – this has been going on, folks, since 2022 in the playoffs. And I know I'm going to have fans go, well, Matt, he won 5 races in 2022. Okay, look at his playoff statistics in the 2022 season. He only had 2 top in 2022. He made the round of 4 in the he made the round of 4. Chase Elliott only had 2 top 5s, and he had 3 top 10s in that playoff run.
Yeah.
The saving grace for Chase Elliott in the 2022 playoffs was his win at Talladega. If he doesn't win that race, he gets knocked out in the round of 8. Then he finishes. Then he goes out to Phoenix, championship 4. Ross takes him out. Picture perfect ending for the 9 team. Then he comes back, and I hear about the broken leg. Guys, the broken leg's been almost 2 years ago now. 2 years ago. And I get that this car is unique. This car is challenging the race and all that type of stuff. But at some point, his teammates are figuring it out. William Byron has figured this car out, which is completely understandable. Kyle Larson is Kyle Larson, and Alex Bowman. I know that Alex Bowman gets a lot of heat and a lot of junk, but in my personal opinion about Alex Bowman is actually a much better racer than what we give him credit for. Alex Bowman continues shooting himself in the foot. We talk about all these other drivers where it's like blown engines and getting wrecked by somebody else. Alex Bowman is the picture perfect example of that. Chase Elliott's got an 11.5 average finish this year. Alex Bowman has a 19.14 average finish this year. Alex Bowman has also 2 DNFs. Chase Elliott has 0. Makes up for it.
That's true.
I mean, the problem I have with Hendrick, I mean, again, Hendrick Motorsports is top heavy. At this point, it's William Byron, probably 1A, Kyle Larson, 1B. And every other week that you can alternate them. And then you got probably Chase Elliott and I would say Alex Bowman probably ahead of Chase Elliott at this point. Chase Elliott's just consistent. That's all he is.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn on a race.
I mean, it's like you said, 15th. I mean, he's finishing in the same spot that he has top 10s. I mean, how many top 5s do you have? 1?
3.
3?
Yeah, he's got 3 top 5s this year. So, like, my whole thing, though, like, with Chase Elliott, it's like I look at Ryan Blaney. Like, Ryan Blaney starts, probably in the same area as Chase Elliott every race.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At the end of the races, you can sit there and watch it and go, wow, Ryan Blaney actually had speed to get through the field. Ryan Blaney got through the field. Chase Elliott just stays stuck. Fringe top 10 driver. And does it change? I don't think it does. 1 win in 84 bouts. 1 win in 84 races. That does not tell me that this winning is going to come up in the ranks anytime soon.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know what you need to do. Maybe a massive change needs to happen. Maybe Alan Gustafson needs to go. I don't even know if Alan Gustafson leaving would change it. I don't know.
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I just think that this is who Chase Elliott is. I don't think that this car is good for him. I don't think that he knows how to run this car. And we may be in the Chase Elliott part of his career, just like his father Bill in the 90s, where he just didn't win a race for many, many years.
Could be.
But you know what, though? He'll be the most consistent playoff driver we have ever seen. That's what we'll get. The most consistent playoff driver we'll ever see. All right. So with all that being said, we're out of Nashville. Final point stand or updated point standings coming out of Nashville this week. Byron and Larson and Bell stay 1, 2, and 3 in the standings. Denny Hamlin jumps 2 spots. He's now 4th. Chase Elliott, Mr. Consistent, in 5th. Tyler Reddick is in 6th. Ryan Blaney's in 7th. Joey Logano's in 8th. Ross Chastain is in 9th. Bubba Wallace is now 10th in the points. Chase Briscoe's 11th. Alex Bowman's 12th. Austin Cindric's 13th. Chris Buescher is 14th. Kyle Busch is 15th. And if you add the winners of this season, Josh Berry currently sits 16th. Ryan Preece will be the first one out. But without the winners, Ryan Preece is 16th, which quiet week for Ryan Preece, who's been pretty nice this year. Yeah. So, Cup standings courtesy of NASCAR.com. Jake, let's get into some picks this week in Michigan.
I want to pick Byron, but I'm going to go with Larson.
Going Larson this week. Okay. Shocker.
No, this is his track, but soft pick. I'm going to go with Blaney. I mean, I'm going to go obviously not Blaney. I'm going to go with Byron.
Byron. Okay, 2 picks this week for me. I'm going Chris Buescher, pick number 1. I like Fords up there. I think Fords are always good. According to driveraverages.com, since 2022 in the next gen car, Chris Buescher's got a 7.7 average finish. 1 win, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. He's led 8.7% of the laps in these races over the last couple of years. So I like Chris Buescher a lot. And then in the pre-race, I kind of told you one name, but I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do it, guys. I think everyone knows what I'm going to do. Give me Brad Keselowski.
I want to be upset of that. I want to be
upset.
Give
me bad Brad. Give me Brad Keselowski. I'm loading myself up with Fords this week. I trust Ford at that track. I don't know why. Brad Keselowski since 2022, he's got an 8 flat average in 3 races with 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. He's led 2.8% of the laps led at that track. In regards to laps led at Michigan International Speedway since the next gen car, Martin Truex Jr. has the most laps led percentage at 12.4. And then in second place, here's an interesting one for you. Well, actually, Buescher's in second at 8.7% of the laps led. Third place, very interesting. Daniel Suarez, 8.6% of the laps led in the next gen car at Michigan International Speedway. Only has 2 top 10s, but in a 13 average finish, but he's led 8.6% of the laps. That was pretty interesting. I like drivers who lead. Other drivers that I think that are going to do very well there. Bubba Wallace, we kind of briefed on that. I think Bubba Wallace is a good pick if you're a fan of the 23XI team. Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick won there last year. There's some, listen, even on driveraverages.com, Eric Jones, he's got an 11.3 average finish in those 3 races in the next gen car. In those 3 races. So, like, again, there's going to be, I think, a lot of different names at the top of the leaderboard. Another driver that I think that a lot of fans are waiting to see break out in the win is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has got an 8 average finish in that track. 1 top 5, 2 top 10. So, listen, the best driver on this track in average finish is Denny Hamlin with a 5 flat. He's got 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. So, again, I like Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski. I'm going to go to the RFK dynamic duo. Actually, give me the trifecta on the RFK this week. Give me all 3 of them. Give me Priest as well. I think Priest. Yeah, I mean Priest has showed a lot of speed this year. So give me Priest.
I like it.
You're going okay. So this week, Jake, you're going with the Hendrick Motorsports duo of Byron and Larson. I'm going with all of RFK. So
works for me.
Sounds good. So Ty Gibbs going to win this race. All right, that's going to conclude tonight's episode. Whew, Nashville, baby.
Yep.
Nashville.
It was a good week.
Good week. Got Michigan coming up, and then Mexico and then Pocono. Yeah. So we're in the dog days of summer. And again, final point from Michigan. This week, if you're watching the race, you're probably going to be hearing a lot about the in-season tournament. That seeding starts this week. People will be talking about it. They're going to be saying stuff about it. For our fans that are listening to us live, if you're watching the race, don't be shocked. They'll be talking about the in-season tournament standings this week because it starts at it's the average finish of Michigan, Mexico City, and Pocono. So, okay, that concludes us. That takes us to checker flag tonight. Appreciate everyone listening. Appreciate all the love, support. Fun episode, man. Fun episode, Nashville, baby.
I'll see you next week. Do it all again.
Doing it all again. Talk about Michigan next week. Yep. And again, final thought. If you have not watched Earnhardt on Prime, get to it now. Get to it because you will not be disappointed.
Correct.
With all that being said, have a wonderful night. Be safe, Jake. It's been a blast this week, and we'll chat all with you next week. Again, follow us on our subscriptions, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. With all that being said, have a wonderful night. Stay safe.
See ya.